And welcome into this edition of ACAP Today for the week of August 16th, 2021. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's program, we are going to talk with three individuals who work on ACAP's housing stability programs and hear about three exciting things that are happening here in Aroostook County and within the Aroostook County Action Program, and learn how these programs may be helpful to you and your family or household. We'll do that in just a little bit, but before we get to our guests on this week's broadcast, we are going to first look at the news and information that you can use again for this week of August 16th, 2021. And we begin in our news and information segment by reminding you again, we shared this with you last week, that ACAP has resumed a requirement of face coverings or masks in all ACAP facilities out of an abundance of caution for the health and safety of both our customers and our staff. All ACAP staff are wearing masks in any community gathering spots within our organization where we see each other or where we see customers, and we certainly ask that customers mask up before coming into any ACAP facility. If you do not have a mask with you, or if you are even in need of masks and would like a supply, we have those available by our entrances of all of our publicly facing buildings, and we'd be happy to provide you with one upon entry to the building. And also, if you need any for your family members, we have a supply as well, and some that you can take home with you. So again, please do visit our ACAP facilities, but please keep in mind that we are requiring face coverings again at this time. We are going to speak about this with our guest in just a little bit, but ACAP is pleased to announce that we are launching a formative exploration for the Aroostook Supportive Housing Project at the 1 Edgemont Drive property shown in the picture on your screen here. We are looking at turning this facility into a supportive housing complex that will house our Hope and Prosperity resource center moving forward, as well as somewhere in the vicinity of 10 to 13 or 14 or so units of supportive housing moving forward. We are in a purchase and sales agreement for the purchase of the building. In the meantime, we are renting it, and we are housing ACAP administrative offices in this facility now. So if you're in need of visiting a finance team, the human resource team, the community relations team, or some of our program leadership team members, we are in this facility, as is some of our supportive housing programs. And very soon, the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center will be reestablishing their day center here in this facility. Our prevention team is also located here. So we will be here for your service for any of those programs, again, at 1 Edgemont Drive, as we work toward the feasibility for a supportive housing project here in Aroostook County. And we'll have more on that and what that means in this broadcast and in future ACAP Today episodes, I'm certain. We also want to remind folks, we haven't talked about this in a while, that we are offering a wellness shelter for individuals experiencing homelessness at a local hotel. That shelter is currently full. That shelter will be ceasing operations on the 30th of September. As of this point, we are grateful to the community members who have supported this venture. Certainly, if you are in need of homeless services, we encourage you to reach out to our partner organization, Homeless Services of Aroostook, and they can help navigate as we need to look at folks and capacity. We are currently at capacity, though, at this shelter, and we are hoping, and as we'll discuss in our program a little bit, to offer additional or available services to folks returning on the day side of things within the next few weeks. We also want to remind folks, we talked about this in last week's ACAP Today with guests from both ACAP and from partner organizations that serve the entire state of Maine, to be on the lookout for the summer pandemic EBT program. This is what came in the mail to a number of households, and it's not very specific, or looks more or less like junk mail, if you will. It comes with a Texas postmark and mailing address or return address, and it is, though, a pandemic EBT card that has a benefit for purchase toward groceries for your family and household. Please be on the lookout for it. If you are in need of assistance, please reach out to ACAP, and our navigators can help explain what needs to be done. You can also look back at last week's episode of ACAP Today and learn more about both the summer pandemic EBT program and the school year pandemic EBT program that our guests spoke about last week. Another benefit we have been alerting folks about is the child tax credit. If you did file your taxes for 2020, you should be all set and should be automatically receiving a payment that amounts to between $3,000 and $3,600 annualized. Those should have started being received in the month of July by your household in payments of about $300 or so a month. If you have not or have not filed your taxes in 2020 and are looking to get this credit, this child tax credit, which is entitled to you, visit childtaxcredit.gov. Again, if you are in need of assistance with this, please do reach out to us. We have ACAP navigators who can help with the online work that needs to be done for this program as well. Or if you are in need of other assistance and are just not sure where to turn at this time, our ACAP Navigator program is available for you. Please do reach out at 764-3721. We are also looking for contractors. Our housing program is looking for contractors throughout Aroostook County to work on projects from northern Aroostook County to southern Aroostook County. Contractors can take all of the projects offered to them or selected projects based on their availability and their ability to complete the work. We do offer contractors, obviously, payment for this work, and we very much appreciate signing on some new contractors throughout Aroostook County to serve low-income households and senior households in need with this project. Shannon Hill is ACAP's contact person for that, and her contact information is there on your screen. We are also pleased to announce that ACAP is among 10 agencies nationwide that has been selected for a learning community by the Administration for Children and Families. This is in relation to our two-generation whole family approach and how we're working to improve and continue with building that evidence-based program. And we will be working with 9 other agencies nationally. We are the only agency in the Northeast that has been awarded this designation, and we're looking forward to working with those 9 other agencies from much larger metropolitan areas and from other parts of the country to help advance not only the efficacy of the work that we're doing as it relates to whole family work, but how we're measuring the success of the program and most importantly of the families that we serve. So congratulations to our entire ACAP team. The hard work of earning this designation was built by the team members who have worked so hard over the last 4 years to transition and transform our agency into a whole family comprehensive service delivery organization. So thank you goes out, and my hat's off to all of you. MAINE'S Workforce Collaborative continues to offer the employment and training sessions to help individuals get back into the workforce or improve their workforce skills and get higher employment opportunities. Interviewing tips and tricks, making career choices, resume cover letter development, and others are topics that are offered through this partnership that ACAP is a part of. Some of our workforce development career counselors offer these courses. Others are offered by folks from some of the other partners you see here on your screen. You can check out our website for more information on how you might sign up for these free virtual classes. They're offered statewide, but they're offered virtually, so no need to leave your home to take them. And we certainly encourage you to look up more information and get connected with these classes. We also want to remind folks that we here at ACAP are part of a team doing work across Aroostook County to help encourage folks to consider getting their COVID-19 vaccination. The information about where a local vaccination clinic is available to you can be found at the website listed at the top of the screen here. You can also call the number at the bottom of your screen if you are in need of transportation to and from an appointment or to and from a clinic where you would like to get your vaccination. They ask at the Department of Health and Human Services, if you call that number, you leave at least a 48-hour advance notice so they can make sure they can dispatch transportation to you for the date and time of either your appointment or when you'd like to go for a walk-in clinic where those are available. We want to also share with you that early care and education programs do have some select openings at facilities across Aroostook County as folks prepare to head back to school this fall. We know that there are a lot of parents looking for childcare, early care and education options. ACAP has some of those options available at some of our sites. We also encourage you, if you are looking for quality early childhood education and we don't have a current opening, that you do call us. The number's there on your screen, and get placed on a waiting list. So as soon as a spot clears up, we can get to you and help meet childcare needs across Aroostook County. The community closet, lastly, in our news and information that you can use, we just got off of the week, a very successful week with the backpack giveaway program and the kids community closet, which ran on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday of last week. We have resumed normal operations of our community closet. It's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to those in need. We ask at this time that you please just bring clothing items to the community closet, not other household good items. It's going to help us keep it organized, and we did have some vandalism last week, and we want to just be careful about being respectful with the items that you do provide us, and also with the experience of members of the public coming to our community closet. We encourage you to drop off items. You can drop them off after hours, again, clothing only, but if you drop them off during hours between 8 and 5 p.m., that's even more helpful to us to ensure that we can keep the closet neat and tidy for folks who will be using it. But we're also looking for volunteers to help us keep the closet stocked and keep it neat and tidy. You can contact Sherry Locke at the information on your screen there if you would like to volunteer. And with that, that's this week's news and information that you can use. I'm very pleased to welcome to this week's edition of ACAP Today, 3 of the members of our housing stability team. This is a growing team here at the agency, and one that's doing tremendous work, both helping people during the immediate aftermath and ongoing challenges that we're dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, but also one that's looking ahead to how we're meeting housing stability challenges in our community after the pandemic. And we're going to start there by welcoming our 3 guests to the program. First, Theresa Dow, who's a program coordinator overseeing our housing stability programs. Theresa, welcome to your first edition of ACAP Today.
Thank you.
And we're also joined by Beau Myrick, who is the shelter lead, who is leading our team at the Hope and Prosperity Wellness Shelter at a local hotel. And he's going to talk about the great work that they're doing at the shelter, but also talk about some of the transitional work that we're doing to get back into operations at the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center that we're hoping to open up again shortly. Beau, thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Jason.
And lastly, one of our newer members of the ACAP team, Priscilla Steeves, who is our lead overseeing the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. And we're going to talk with Priscilla in a little bit about how that program has sort of expanded its parameters and how folks can connect to get the assistance that they need. Priscilla, welcome to your first edition of ACAP Today.
Thank you.
All right, so Theresa, let's begin with you, because at the top of the ACAP Today news segment today, I shared with the community, and we've been through other media resources sharing with the community, the discussion about the Aroostook Supportive Housing Project. So you are our project lead on that, so I'll let you sort of provide a synopsis of what this is all about to our community.
It is a very exciting initiative that the agency is in the process of moving forward. We are under a purchase and sale agreement currently with Facilities Inc., who is the current owner of the One Edgemont building. We're in the process of purchasing the building to renovate the top floor in the upcoming years to be supportive housing to those that are experiencing homelessness or homeless instability. So we're very excited about the project and what it's going to do and the doors that it's going to open for those in need within the Aroostook County area.
Theresa, you have both had experience here in Aroostook County, but recently returned from downstate where you were working for a sister CAP agency of ours. The need for housing is evident across the state of Maine, but many people don't necessarily think that that extends here to Aroostook County, because we've seen population loss over decades and the like, but there is truly a lack of affordable and accessible housing for our community members, is there not?
There is, and it's very frustrating and kind of just really pulls at your heartstrings, because you want to be able to assist people to find affordable housing within the area that doesn't encompass using the majority of their weekly salary or their monthly salary. So it's really difficult, and there's such a shortage not only in Aroostook County but statewide for affordable housing for low-income individuals that I'm just excited for the doors that this project is going to open.
Let me bring we are all, and as a matter of fact, I just want to note that you are actually sitting in the One Edgemont Drive property right now in your office, at least for the next year or so, as we work on and do the due diligence and preparation for getting this building transitioned and transformed. I do want to bring Beau Myrick into this conversation for a bit, because Beau, you can certainly attest at the need for a facility of this type, both in your role currently leading the Hope and Prosperity Wellness Shelter for emergency purposes for individuals experiencing homelessness, but also in your work with our organization in what we're going to look to relaunch shortly, which is the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center, which works with individuals during the day who are experiencing homelessness. So you can certainly attest to the fact that there's a huge need to have this kind of housing in Aroostook County.
Absolutely, Jason. I mean, we deal with people day to day that have nowhere else to go. And right now we're housing those that can't access the Sister Mary O'Donnell Homeless Shelter due to various reasons, such as being, overcrowded. So we're housing all these individuals. Now, we've had over 175 people come through here, and those are people that would have otherwise been, homeless, but at least that evening, if nothing else. But then to go over to the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center side, these people also have nothing to do during the day. We will provide a space where they can utilize, computers and get help from people that can actually provide the direction that they need to further their lives, so that way they can actually climb out of a situation that they're currently in.
Yes, and so I do want to bring Priscilla Steeves in on this part of the conversation as well before I sort of circle back to Theresa and then go on to discuss with Beau about the emergency wellness shelter and the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center reopening in the near future. And then back to you, Priscilla, on the rental assistance or emergency rental assistance program. But it's not only from the experience that Beau was talking about, where we're dealing with individuals and helping individuals who are experiencing homelessness find housing. You also, with your emergency rental assistance team and the housing stability component of that team, are finding that the options for individuals who are potentially facing eviction or who are not able to continue living for whatever reason in the rental facility that they're currently in, that you and your team are working with, that there aren't that many options out there for them beyond where they're at.
There isn't.
So tell me, what are some of the things that you're experiencing and how you're seeing that sort of come to fruition or manifest itself, if you will, in the work that your team is doing?
I wish that I had the funds to go build a building and make it so that everybody can afford their rent. I know that it's hard, even for myself. Sometimes it's hard to pay my rent. And I am just thankful to this business and all of our clients for their patience working with us. It is a long process, but I know that sometimes your housing isn't what you are needing. You need something that is larger or smaller. Right now, there's hardly anything out there that's available for them to move if they're evicted or anything. So we at least try and get their rent paid up.
And we're going to come back and talk about that process with you in just a little bit. But Theresa, let me circle back to you to talk about sometimes it is that there may be housing available, but the ability to match that housing up with employment opportunities or access to critical services may not be there, which is, I think, part of the reason why the supportive housing project that we're looking at, I think, targets one of the service center communities in Aroostook County and Presque Isle.
Yeah, and one of the great things that's going to kind of come to be again when the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center opens is, that's going to be located on the lower level. So essentially anyone that's needing help with, doing a job search will have computers available for them to be able to come in and do, applications online, submit resumes, whatever that might look like. It allows them to connect with our navigators in a one place instead of having to kind of go to different locations to get their needs met. And also the nice thing about the location that we're going to be at, One Edgemont, is we're really close to the community college. If you have somebody that's hoping to continue their education, we're within walking distance. We're in a close proximity to a grocery store, different amenities that you'd hope to have that sometimes are not available if you're looking at a smaller community or a smaller town that might have a rent. So these are all things that are going to benefit those that we serve as far as being in such a central location.
And so Theresa, it is a process. So we don't want to sort of mislead folks by thinking this is a turnkey operation that we're going to be opening the supportive housing complex up here in the next few months or next spring even. And we are sort of in the meantime, while we're doing that work, obviously utilizing the property to accommodate growing programs and programs that we've propped up as a result of the pandemic. So maybe you could just talk folks through what happens between now and then when we hopefully open doors to a new supportive housing project that sort of explains why this is a project that's going to unfold over many months.
There are some tests that we have to complete. We have to do our due diligence through a local a funder that's going to hopefully be helping to support the project initially. So we have to do things because of the location. We're close to a train track. We're close to the airport. So we need to do an acoustic test to see how that impacts the building. We're doing things like air quality, looking for different streams that could potentially funding streams that could help to support the project as well. So that all will take time. And, you know, I am potentially going to be, you'll see this room hopefully in the future, and it's going to be hopefully a 1-bedroom. If I remember correctly, that's what the diagram has it currently as for the map of the building. So that's exciting to see how that's going to change and transform. It just takes time in order to get all of those steps in place before construction can happen. Sorry.
I hear you saying that, and it rings in my ear how our ACAP team has really been working hard throughout this pandemic. And some folks have even been kidding with us that we should have a bed in our office. And you literally, at some point, will have a bed in that office, Theresa.
Yes.
You won't be sleeping there, but there will be a bed in that office at some point. Beau, speaking of beds and accommodations to support individuals, want to talk a little bit about where you're at. We've sort of been more quiet about the operations of the Hope and Prosperity Wellness Shelter this time around, both because, you know, we are partnering with a local hotel and we want to be able to consider the confidentiality and the privacy of both our customers and that facility. But we did this, oh gosh, a little over a year ago. We were working with the University of Maine at Presque Isle to do more of a congregate wellness shelter in that facility. So let's talk with you about where things have been since January when we opened this latest facility and where things are headed. So why don't you start there?
Not a problem. When we opened in January, we had a 10-bed capacity to start, and we filled our 10. And there was times that we made it all the way up to 16, 17, I believe, beds at one night. So that's 17 different people or families. You know, we can house more than one person in a room. If there's a father, mother, and a child, we'll house all three. Through the months, January to June, we were averaging over 30 people, between 25 to 30 people coming and staying every month, not counting the people that reside here for longer durations of time. This past month, it's slowed down a little bit, and at this moment, we're completely full, and we've been receiving calls with other people that are trying to access services. So due in part to the pandemic, we're winding down, but at the same time, I feel a flux in numbers potentially going up.
So, Beau, that doesn't demonstrate definitely that there's a need for the type of facility that Theresa's sort of looking at and spearheading our initiative around that. What, in your perspective, I know that there's one way that we're going to continue certainly to serve individuals experiencing homelessness or housing insecurity, and that's through the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center, which originally was opened first here at our 771 Main Street Presque Isle facility near Walmart. But you are working towards sort of going from operating an overnight shelter to returning to day center operations. Talk about that process.
The day center processes. Okay. Usually what happens is people will come to the center to utilize the computers to get advice, you know, to do applications and to have assistance with them, but also to get referrals to services that they can't otherwise, you know, get connected to. So we will shoot referrals throughout our agency to different divisions for housing and everything else, but we also will work in, you know, in tandem with other agencies outside of ACAP to try to share the load. Now, having the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center back open is going to greatly benefit the community, because I know of at least 20 different people that are probably going to be going there the first day. But again, going back to with the supportive housing, if many of these folks could find a place where they could just live and have it affordable, 90% of the folks we have here wouldn't be using our facilities whatsoever.
And the new Hope and Prosperity Resource Center that you'll be moving into after you close the shelter there, Beau, have you seen the new space, and what are your thoughts in terms of the ability? You noted that we can connect folks with services outside of the agency. There's a room designated in there for outside agencies just to meet with individuals at the facility and help them right on site to access their services.
Yes, sir. We also will be feeding our clients lunches and providing snacks throughout the day, so that way they can, sustain themselves. We will have, I believe, 3 navigators sitting right there to help refer people to services or to assist in any of the application processes that they need to do. We have a full kitchen for the clients to utilize. We will have a family coach directly in the immediate area. And then we have a huge stay space for them where they'll be able to use, the computers, and I believe they're going to be cubicles, but I'm not 100% yet.
Great. Yes, it is. It's exciting, and we're looking forward to having that center back in operations. And thank you for all of your work on the wellness shelter, Beau, and making sure that those operations run smoothly while we're still under contract to do that through the end of September. I know that the need has been great, and we share your concern about what happens to individuals who are unable to house at the end process of that. But I know how hard you and your team are working on that. So thank you. Priscilla Steeves, we're coming to you about the emergency rental assistance program, because a great deal of the work that you and your team are doing is helping to prevent individuals from needing to rely on services for people who are experiencing homelessness by ensuring that they can remain, especially those who are renters for the time being, can remain in their rental units, and also that their landlords are getting paid to help ensure that their businesses, many small businesses, don't go under at this critical time. Talk about that work and what your team is doing at this time, and where you're at with this new ERA 2 program.
We are in the second stage of ERA. I know that my girls are so busy that we have hired a couple more people. So just bear with us. We will get you paid. I promise you that. We have 2 certifiers and only 1 person that cuts the check. But by all means, give us a call. We can let you know if the check has been cut. The girls will be calling 2 or 3 times just to get information that the certifier may feel is necessary, just to be safe. We don't want any issues after the fact.
And Priscilla, that's very important, that if there's any messaging we want to get out there in the community, if you are applying for the rental assistance program, first, we encourage you, if you are a renter, online, the income qualification guidelines are there. If you're sort of close to or on the bubble or a little over, it is worth an application and a conversation and a call. But once you do have an application posted, if someone from ACAP tries to reach out to you, whether it's an email or a call, it's very important that you get back to us with that information so that we can process in as timely a way as possible, correct?
Right. We do have a 7-day turnaround. If we reach out to you because the application is not correct, you do have 7 days to get a hold of us. If we don't hear from you, you are going to be marked ineligible. However, if you get back to us, we can reopen that for you. We don't want anybody to go without housing, and we're going to do everything in our power to put you through.
Now, speaking of helping individuals through the process is actually not the process necessarily is different, but the eligibility guidelines are a little bit different from the previous rental assistance program that ended at the end of the month of July, if you will. Tell me about the difference and why folks should pay attention to this, because it's important.
The first set was COVID related. If you lost your job because of COVID, if you just have a hard time because of the cost. This time around, it is if you have housing instability, if you can't pay your rent because you have to choose between your medicine and your rent, or your electric bill and groceries, we are here to help you. We are doing everything in our power. We even reach out to the electric company, get your bills for you. If you're 3 months behind, we'll get the bills for you if you don't have them. We're going to do everything that we possibly can for you. You're going to be tired of hearing from us, but please pick up the phone. You really need to talk to us so that we can get this done for you.
Now, I know, Priscilla, that a big part of the effort that you and your team are undertaking is to help individuals avoid foreclosure or avoid losing their housing. And so it's preventative in many cases in the rental assistance program, but you also do have a resource, a housing stability resource for somebody who maybe is a little bit further into the process and maybe looking at foreclosure being more imminent, if you will. Talk a little bit about that program and that service that helps to ensure that there's an immediate safety net, a more immediate safety net there.
If you have applied, you're into the system, and you are about to lose your house, we do refer you to Rebecca,
Bouchard.
Bouchard, that's right. I do apologize. Rebecca Bouchard, who does help you. She gives you landlord phone numbers. She'll tell you, well, let's get Pine Tree Legal involved so that they can't kick you out because your rent is late, because the girls in ERA is a little bit behind. It is a long process. We do give you to Rebecca if by chance you do have housing instability or being evicted. Just let us know just as soon as possible so that we can get the ball rolling for you.
Now, it's Priscilla, you have you and your team have been, inundated with applications, and there are renewal applications coming in. So you did mention the position of maybe being a little bit behind on those. So maybe just provide for folks a little bit of a perspective on what things are looking like right now, so that folks can maybe be understanding and patient through the process and understand that we are working to get to everyone. It just may take a little while.
We are, as of right now, we have finally finished the June intakes, the new June applications. We are done the month of June. We are now working on July. So it looks like we are approximately a month behind. I will tell you, the sooner you get your information into us, the sooner your landlord gets paid or your electric bill gets paid. If we ask for your income or your W-2 or your electric bills, get them into us, because once it gets from our intake people who are collecting the data, it goes to a certifier, and you're going from 4 people down to 2 people. And those 2 people are picking through to make sure things are signed and make sure things are correct. And that's where you're going to get another phone call if something is wrong. And once it's through the certifier, it goes to another person. So you're going down to 2 people, and it could take 2 weeks before the check gets out there. So it all depends on how quickly we get the information that we need.
And all of those things, Priscilla, are not because we're trying to be difficult with folks. We are just following rules and being compliant with the rules established by the federal government and our funding supportive partners, Maine Housing, with regards to this program.
Definitely. And the rules change every day. We try our best to stay up on it. I know it's frustrating when they change, but we just have to be easy going. Sometimes we find a loophole. Don't tell anybody that.
You just did. See, cat's out of the bag.
We
No,
do the best we can.
I want to just focus in for a minute because you have mentioned on more than one of your responses about the utility assistance, and it is called the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. But please do give folks a perspective of the utility provision that goes with that.
We are able to help with your utility bills, your water sewer bills, trash removal bills, and internet. I know Spectrum, you can get the package, but we can only do the internet. We have to have each bill per month. It can't be just a total amount. We need the bill for each month, and that is not us. That is the program guide. I know it's frustrating, but if you can't get it, I try my hardest to get it.
Thank you and your team for being such advocates. Before we sort of circle back with the other folks, and I'm going to talk with Theresa in just a moment about where we've been talking about rental assistance, but homeowners, we keep hearing consistently from homeowners that there's assistance needed there, and help is on its way, if you will. But anything from rental assistance that you haven't talked about, a message that you want to make sure gets out there to our community.
Just be patient. We will get back to you. If you call and leave a message, we will get back to you. It just may not be as quickly as you need it. We will do our best. Send us an email as well. We each have our own email, and I believe it's right on the website as well. So, and if you can't get a hold of the girl that is working on you, on your process, feel free to reach out to me. I'm the certifier. I'm the lead. I can take a break from what I'm doing real quick, help you out, and then I can get back to it.
Well, thank you for that customer service, Priscilla. I'm sure it's much appreciated by folks who, especially those who are very anxious and concerned about potentially losing housing. So thank you for that. Speaking of that, Theresa Dow, I did want to circle with you. I know that the answer is we don't know the answer right now, but there is something in the works for homeowners, is there not?
Yes, there is. We did find out, and we did get some guidance that a lot of the mortgage assistance or relief programs are going to be for specific loans. Some that are Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, and FDA loans. So there will be stipulations around the mortgage relief piece that they're currently working on. But at this time, that's really the only information that I have, and we're still unsure as to when it's going to roll out and what that process is going to look like.
Yeah, at this point, Theresa, we don't even quite fully know what role CAP agencies like the Aroostook County Action Program will play in that. I just want to encourage folks and let them know that something is coming. At the very least, our understanding is that ACAP will be able to help individuals who are in need of assistance in completing the application for that process, but do not know whether we will have the opportunity, as we do with rental assistance, to sort of be the local administrator and provider of those services. So please be patient with us, and as soon as we know more on the homeowner assistance program for individuals who have mortgages, we will get that information out to you. We do also, though, Theresa, just as a quick mention in passing, do have two other programs or other programs that you oversee, home ownership support, and also the home buyer education process. And if you just want to just say a few things quickly about those, because I know we have a new team member that's joined us in that area, and it might be a good idea to refresh the community's memory on what those programs are.
Absolutely. So two of my newer programs that I am now overseeing are the foreclosure assistance piece and the first-time homeowners home buyer education. We have a new staff that actually just started on the 9th of August. His name is Don Whipke. We're very excited to have him with the agency. We're currently also working with a consultant who is working to kind of teach him the ropes as far as foreclosure work. That can be very intimidating. It can be, you're advocating for your clients to keep them in their home and, trying to make a transition smoothly with the bank in order to hopefully have that be the outcome. So we are working with Casey Bromberg, who is a HUD certified counselor, to mentor and train him through the upcoming months. We are still actively offering homebuyer education. We are doing them virtually. We have one coming up in August, and we actually have one scheduled in September and October. So those dates are listed on the ACAP website as well.
And I'm sure we'll be talking about those more in our news segment on ACAP Today in the coming weeks. Last word from each of you as we thank you, all three of you. We could have really spent an entire broadcast on each one of the topics that you spoke about, but very grateful for the work that you're all doing for the agency that's both looking at taking care of some very immediate and pressing needs, but also looking ahead to the future and how we better serve our community moving forward. So last word from you, Theresa.
Just keep an eye out. You never know. ACAP sees a need and they work really hard to fill it. So that's very exciting work that the agency does.
And Beau, I've watched you just in a relatively short period of time grow within this agency, and always proud of the work that you do. Your thoughts about what you're doing and how your role in helping to meet the need of the community.
Well, I utilize the service myself, the services, and I'm helping others to utilize those same services. I hope to work myself out of a job, and then you can put me somewhere else in the agency. But we just need everyone to understand, there is a problem up here with homelessness and, housing instability, and I hope we can do our best to help you guys.
Well, thank you for doing what you're doing. And Priscilla, again, you and your team are on the front lines of the effort to help keep people in their homes. Your thoughts about the work that you and your team are doing as we head out of this broadcast.
I think this is a great program to help anybody who is in need. Just be patient with us. You will get paid. And if you think you don't qualify, apply anyways. You never can tell. Everybody needs help in the area. Just put in the application, we'll help you out.
All right, some good advice and some great last words from all three of you. Priscilla Steeves, Theresa Dow, Beau Myrick, thank you so much for being our guests on this week's edition of ACAP Today. Before we leave all of you out there, we just want to remind you that if you would like to, like Theresa, Beau, and Priscilla, consider joining the ACAP team. We do have current openings across Aroostook County and even down into Washington County, where we're going to be expanding some of our work, actually working with youth that may be experiencing homelessness. So we are looking for social workers from the Valley all the way down to Southern Aroostook and into Washington County. We're also looking for a weatherization worker and some folks to work in our early care and education department, again, in sites across Aroostook County. So if you are interested, have what you think it has to fulfill any of these positions and to be part of the ACAP team and are passionate about helping others, we'd certainly love to hear from you. We are offering a $500 sign-on bonus at this time, and some of our benefits here are listed on your screen. We'd love to have you be a part of our growing team. And lastly, before we leave you on this week's edition of ACAP Today, this is a scene from last week before the backpacks were given away. Backpacks, and more backpacks. We held our annual back to school giveaway last week and had over 500 children from Aroostook County, from the the preschool level, even some Head Start students, all the way up to high school students who received backpacks, including age-appropriate school supplies for them. Our thank you to our partners on this initiative, United Way of Aroostook, for the dozens and many, many community volunteers who helped to give away the backpacks, but also helped to sort through clothing and help with our Kids Community Closet clothing giveaway. It's always a very special project for all of us here at the agency to be able to help children and youth of all ages get off to a good, fresh start to a new school year, both with the clothing and the school supplies that they need to start successful and hopefully continue to be successful. And we want to say thank you to all, especially who donated to make both of these critical projects, the Kids Community Closet and the backpack giveaway program, possible. With that, on behalf of the Aroostook County Action Program, our thanks to all of you for watching us today. We hope that you have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week with another edition of ACAP Today.